Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome if you're new, and welcome to Artsy Wednesday. I am in the middle of doing some gel printing, so I thought I would go ahead and record some stuff that I've been kind of doing. I've already have done a lot of prints already excuse me, today. And so I thought as I continue, I would bring you guys along. I know I haven't done one of these videos in a while. So I thought I would bring these back and stuff. So this current stencil that is on my tilt plate is excuse me, it's one of these it's home decor show-offs decorative stencils, and I think I had gotten this at Hobby Lobby, and it's number 890202. Doesn't have a name on it. So so that's what this stencil is. And I have also been using, let me find my other papers here. And I've also been using Masky bits. It's an ATC set of 9 in bits. I've been using the bits. And this is can get these next two that I'm showing you from PM Artist Studios. And this one, the Masky Bits, is designed by Darcy Sanders. So I'm using some of the bits, and then using the bramble branches. The designer is Lucy Ames, and the stencil is also can be purchased at PM Artist Studios. And I will put a link to PM Artist Studios in the description box down below. The paints I'm using, it's these apple barrel craft paints, and I'm also been using the Ranger Distress paints as well. I'm just trying to use up some of these paints that I've had for quite a while, that I've already had in my stash. And I've been doing kind of what is referred to as a long haul, but these are kind of short long hauls. And basically what a long haul is that you have put down a stencil or a combination of stencils down on your plate. You put your on your plate, and then you put paint down, or a combination of paints, colors, brayer it out, put your paper down, and you pull. Put another color or a combination of colors down, brayer it out, put your paper down, pull the print. but you leave the stencil in place until you feel that you have enough layers down. Because if you will notice that around the edges of where the openings are, the paint starts to build up. And if I flip it over, that's the reason why I like the acrylic plates, is that you can kind of see what's going on the back. But I've done several prints using this stencil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the stencil, and you're going to see what is left behind on the plate. And I'm going to take the stencil and I'm going to lay it over here to the side here. I have some papers that I use to as brayer off, and I'm just going to kind of get some of that excess paint that might have seeped underneath the stencil, kind of get it off the stencil a little bit. I'm going to lay the stencil aside. So now you can see the different outlines and everything of the different colors, layers, and stuff of the paints that I have put down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry completely. And what I might do is come and put another layer, lay another stencil down on top, or a couple stencils. But when I flip it over, this is what you'll actually see. Because whatever goes down first is what will be, when you pull the print, that'll be the top. So so here's one of the ones that I did using those stencils from PM Artist Studios, and this is one of the prints that I pulled. So if you notice, everything, when I put the paper down, it was like this, but when I pulled it, then it's like this. So I did one color over this part and then a different color over here. So now what I want to do is decide if I want to put down another stencil over the top. So I could do that. And then if I do that, then that's the look you'll get. So what I might do is, what I'm going to do is I have a smaller brayer, and I might just do, trying to think. I think actually I want to get a stencil that has maybe not, I don't know. I think I might use this stencil in this area here, but then find another stencil to use in this area here that might fill in some of the empty spaces more. Or I might find something different. So let's see. I'll go ahead and put this stencil down. And let's see. Trying to think of a color I want to use. I think I'm going to use this King's Gold. And actually what I'm going to do is bring out my small plate. That has been freshly cleaned. And use that to put my paint on. Then that way I can only put this color where I want it. I'm going to use this piece of paper here so I can clean up my plate and also going to clean off my brayer. Move a few things out of the way here. Okay, so got that color there. Let's go ahead and do this color for the other part, for another section. And the only thing with this distress paints is that it will cellularize, which that's fine. I kind of like the way what it does. That's the reason why I have quite a bit of it out here. Okay, so now I'm going to get my paper, put it down, and pull a print. And on the distress paint that was called Age Mahogany. Okay. Now my other paint had dried before so I should have put down the Age Mahogany first, then the gold, then it would have been fine, but that's okay. So what I can do, since I still have some over here, is I can come put some in over here. Because I still have some out there. And I'm gonna see if I can see what I can pull up. See, and that's a good start to a background. So, and I think it pulled up some of my design from underneath, which is not really what I wanted, but that's okay, because I rubbed a little too much. I should have just put the paint on, put the paper on, and pulled. But I think there's still enough there that you can still see it. The only way to know is to flip it over. And yeah, you can still see some of the other stencil underneath there. So I'm gonna let that completely dry, and then what I can do is I can always come back with something else over the top. Oh. So here's another one that I did, that I just arranged it a little differently. So I think what I'm going to do here, let me go ahead and clean that plate up a bit. And I'm liking how that's turning out. That'll work out good for background. Is I think what I'm going to do is I am going to come in with these branches. And let's see, what color do I want to use? Okay, this distress paint. And this is Stormy Sky. I should have put down another. I think I should have put down something else over here. Okay. Okay. I'm just getting up some of the excess paint. And I'm going to lift the stencils off. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and then we'll see what we have once that dries. But I think you'll still be able to see the pattern underneath, because as it dries, that paint is going to kind of cellularize. So we'll see what happens once it dries, and then we'll do the pull. Okay, so here's this one. And yeah, it's dry. Okay, so now this one, I'm going to go ahead and put these down. And I'm just experimenting, guys. I'm just trying, seeing what works, what doesn't work. Because I am still very new to gel printing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that one off. Okay. So so I'm just playing. Okay. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and put some of this out over here on the, and this color is called Admiral Blue. And then I think what I'm going to do is that I'm not going to, I'll just pull up the stencils. I'm not going to even put a piece of paper down. I'm just going to go ahead and pull these stencils and see what we get, because I'm doing a real light coat. I'm going to build layers on this one. Because I don't want to take any chances of ending up pulling up any of the paint from below. So that way you could still see, definitely have the pattern from below coming through. And even everything with the thinness, you can even see the pattern coming through everything through this area here. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out my big plate. Yeah, I had just recently just cleaned and conditioned, oops, my plates. So I just had put this paper on them right after I conditioned them, just to kind of help keep dust off of them while they were, until I was ready to start using them. Okay. This lined up here. There we go. Okay. Okay. Okay, since I still got some of this color still out here, I'm going to go ahead and have that. And I think I'm going to use white strength tissue paper. And I don't mind the wrinkles. That was a lot of paint out there. And there's still quite a bit out there. And if you guys are wondering, I have a card table set up over to my right where I'm placing my prints. And I'm just going to use this to try and pick up some of that extra that's out there. I did get quite a bit out there. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm going to bring in some of this sky blue. This is some of that apple barrel craft paint. paint. That's a lot of paint out there. And I think I'm gonna need to use some of my other paper, cardstock, to actually. There we go. Mm, I've got a lot of paint right there. And then I've got some over here. Some right here in the middle. There we go. Okay. So. Oops. Okay. So let's see. This is Distress Paint Old Paper. And one of the things that I like about the distress paints and everything is if I want to pick up some of the paint that is down on the plate and I want to pull it up and off of the stencil as well, then I use that. And actually, I think I'm gonna use some I'm in the process of cutting me some pieces of wet strength tissue, so I don't actually have some that are actually cut completely to the right sizes yet, but that's okay. And see how some of that blue is starting to come off? Okay. Okay. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pull the stencils. Okay, I think this plate can go to the side for right now. And as you can tell, some of these and everything, the paint has seeped underneath, which is fine. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry, and then I can come back in, and probably what I'll do is I'll just do spot things with some other stencils. Okay, so this one has dried. So I'm thinking, trying to think of what I want to do. With this one. And I'm thinking I might want to come back in with some of these. And just do using my little brayer. What I need to do is get me an even smaller brayer. I think I'm going to go with uh, oh, okay. I have some of these Artist Loft acrylic paints. And I think I'm going to use, because I also want to use up these as well. I think I'm going to use this purple. I don't want to stick to each other because they're still kind of wet. And I dab these edges so they're not harsh edges. And then I think I'm just gonna kind of use my kitchen towel here, my paper towel here, and just add some texture in here, which will help to kind of smooth out some of those hard edges. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to let that completely dry and then maybe come back with a pool color. And let's see what we're going to do with this one. I think this one, I think this one is still, yeah, it's still a little wet. So I think what I might do is just leave this one, let this one completely, because you can tell that it's still wet, because it's still real super shiny. I think I might let this one just completely dry, and then just do my pool color on this one. Okay, now this one is completely dry. So now do I want to add anything to this, or do I just want to go ahead and do a pool color? Or do I want to add something in these spaces here? I don't think I do. I think I just want to do my pool color. And I think I want my pool color to be, let me see, what do I have? I have titanium white. I do have these golden iridescent, I have iridescent pearl, I have iridescent bronze, iridescent copper, and iridescent gold. So I'm thinking of pulling it with one of these. So the bronze. No, not the gold. I have the pearl. That would probably be neat. So the pearl. Then I also have copper, but I think I'm going to go with the pearl. Okay, I'm going to get my paper ready. I'll make sure that I have enough out here that I get a good full coverage. And get my paper down. Pull out my Barens so that way I make sure that it's got good contact with the surface. And then I'm going to let this dry. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm liking that. It helps makes the other colors in there pop. So okay, so I'm gonna let that sit. Started to kind of dry on me before I got the paper down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and I am calling it, and we will see you guys in the next video, and I will show you all of the prints, and we will pull I'll show you what that one looks like, and we'll see what's next. Thanks, everybody. Bye.